right, hello everyone. This week, as part of our live virtual academy lesson, we are drawing this cute little fish in a fish bowl, and I'm making this video just in case you missed our live session or if you feel like you need to see it again. So this video again is for the live session. If you missed our live session on Teams, you can watch this video to get credit, or you can do my other lesson to get credit. The other lesson is the shape robots. You can do either one, or if you're really wanting to work, you can do both, but at least do one, either the live session if you've already done it or one of the videos. Okay, so get your stuff together and we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to fold our paper in half twice. So I'm going to, there we go. I'm going to fold it in half like I'm making a book. Sometimes teachers call this a hamburger fold. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it and fold it in half one more time. That would be another hamburger fold. Okay. Notice I'm making a really good crease. And then I'm going to open it up and flatten it out. And I do this so this fold shows me where the middle of my paper is going from top to bottom, and this fold shows me where the middle of my paper is going from side to side. And it helps me place everything in the correct place on my paper, and it helps me get it the correct size. Alright, so now the first thing that we're going to draw is our fish bowl. Okay, and my fish bowl is going to be a large U shape. It's going to start right about here in this little area, and it's going to come down and around and back up and end right about here. So if you can see that, I've made two little marks where I'm going to start and stop. And again, before you just start blindly drawing things, you want to practice and think it out. It's going to, on this section, if I go from here to the bottom, it's going to go a little past the midway point, and it will come around about here and here. So I can practice with my finger first, and I know that it's going to be similar to this, like a really large U. That's a little wider at the bottom than it is at the top. Okay? So once I've practiced and I feel like I understand my goal, I'm going to do it for real. And I'm using those little points to help me. And so now I have my U for my fishbowl. It's certainly not perfect. And that's part of the reason you want to draw light. So if you do make a mistake, you can fix it. And I drew a little darker than I should have. But we can take that as an example of what not to do. I'm still able to pretty much erase it though. Alright, and so it's certainly not perfect, but I have the shape of my fishbowl. Now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a straight line that goes from the top of this one to this one. Alright, easy peasy. Alright, so now what we're learning about this week is shape. So this is the shape of a U. This is just a straight line. Our paper is a rectangle. And now, right about here, I'm going to make an oval. It's kind of in between an oval and a circle. And it's going to be a little off-center, meaning it's going to come further over this way than it is over here. Over here, if you look at the folds, it doesn't go quite as far to the left as it does to the right. And notice how I'm doing it sketchy, because in that way I can alter and change the shape until I'm happy with it. And then when I pretty much have it, I can go over it and make it darker for the shape I want to keep. All right? And that's going to be the shape of my fish. Then on this side of my oval, I'm going to do what's basically a half circle. Looks almost like we're making a little eyeball there. All right. Then, speaking of eyeballs, right here I'm going to draw a circle. And my circle's not perfect, but that's okay. And then I'm going to make a little curved line inside the circle and a little teeny tiny circle inside. And that is our fish's eye. All right, now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make his fins. His fins are kind of like a rectangle that's a little diagonal and kind of going over to the side. And I'm going to put a fin here. This is kind of like a trapezoid without the line there. And then the same thing here. All right, so there are the fins. Now our fish needs a tail. And that's part of the reason we made it off center in the fishbowl. Now the tail is kind of like a leaf shape. This is what we've referred to as an organic shape. And then our fish is going to have some little lips here. Very cute. All right, now at the bottom of our fishbowl, we're going to make what looks like little pebbles. And those are the shape of a circle, several circles. And we're not trying to make it look full of these pebbles. We're just adding enough that it looks decent. We don't want it to look totally full, but we don't want it to look sparse either, which means you don't have enough. All right, and now we're going to make a line that shows where the counter or the table is. And it'll be here and here. It's kind of like the horizon line. All right, and now we are ready to Sharpie. All right, so I have my black Sharpie here. If you don't have a black Sharpie, you can always use a black crayon or a regular black marker. But what we're doing in this step is tracing over what we want to keep. And then any pencil I can still see once I finish this step, I am going to erase. Now, I'm also the dark part of my fish's eye. I'm coloring that in with my Sharpie because it's pretty much perfect for that. When I'm done, I shouldn't be able to see any pencil anywhere. Tracing over my fishbowl. I'm tracing over all my pebbles. And I'm going to trace over the counter or table. All right, I'm going to fast forward to finish this. Okay, so now I'm ready to color my fish, and I have my crayons ready to go. Keep in mind, you do not have to use the same colors that I am. You can, but you don't have to. So please keep that in mind. And also keep in mind, now that you're getting a little older, you want to use more than one shade of a certain color. For example, I'm making my goldfish like it's a goldfish, so I'm coloring it orange. But I have two different oranges here. In fact, I'm going to get a third one out. So that way I can have a little bit of a difference in my goldfish, okay? So I'm going to color the main part of his body with my darker orange, and then I'm going to color the face and the fins with this lighter yellow orange, okay? Now again, you could choose any colors you want for your fish, but I'm going to fast forward to finish coloring mine. If you need to hit pause to finish coloring yours, you would want to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I have my fish colored now, and now I'm going to color the pebbles at the bottom of my fish bowl. I have my red, and I have a red orange, and then I have a red orange that's a little lighter. It's actually the same one I used on my fish, on the main part of the body. So I'm basically just kind of randomly picking the pebbles, coloring it with my crayons, and I'll basically keep doing this until I've colored all of the pebbles. All right, again, just like always, you don't have to do the same colors. You can choose the colors that you want to do, okay? But I'm going to fast forward to finish coloring this, and you can hit pause and finish coloring yours. Okay, so now I have the pebbles colored. Next thing I'm going to do is color the table or the counter where my fish bowl is sitting. And I press down pretty hard with everything in my fish tank, but for my background, I'm coloring it softer. Because what's more important in our picture? Is it my fish and its fish bowl, or is it the counter or table? What's more important? Yes, my fish and my fish bowl are a lot more important. So I am coloring the counter or table softer so that it doesn't take away from my fish bowl. Also notice I'm trying to color neatly and I'm coloring in one direction. Now keep in mind I'm probably able to go quite a bit faster than you can because I've been doing this a really long time. So keep that in mind. Don't rush through your picture. All right, and then I'm ready to do my wall. I'm going to flip it upside down when I do my wall because it's more comfortable that way. And there's nothing wrong with turning and moving your paper around to make it more comfortable, especially if it helps you color in the correct direction and make it look neater. And just like with my countertop and my table, I'm coloring softer because it's not what's the most important. The fish tank and the fish or fish bowl are far more important. Okay, so I'm going to hit fast forward and finish coloring my background. You can hit pause and finish coloring yours, and then we'll come back and finish the fish bowl. Okay, so now that I have my background done, I'm ready to come back and do the water. Now first I'm going to draw a line to show where the water goes up to. And it doesn't have to be a straight line. You can make it a straight line if you want, or you can make it a little wiggly like I just did. And then you're going to color the water. Again, I recommend choosing one direction and color neatly. I'm pressing down a little harder than I did with my background because, again, the fish tank is the most important part of the picture. Now when you press down harder with your crayon, it does look better. In fact, most of the time it looks quite a bit better, but it does take more time. You have to slow down and be careful because if you make a mistake, it's going to be more obvious because it's darker. When you press down on your crayon, it gets darker. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward to finish coloring my water. You can hit pause and finish coloring yours, and then we will wrap things up here. Alright, so I have my water done, and now we have one last thing. We have the top of our fish bowl where it's above the water. There's no water in this little part, but you're looking through the glass at the wall. So the wall's not going to look exactly the same because you're looking at it through glass. So I am using the same crayon, but I colored side to side when I did my wall, and this time I'm coloring at just a little bit of an angle, and I'm coloring just a little lighter because it's going to have a different look to it being through glass. Now I'm adding a little bit of white, which will be one of those times you probably won't be able to see a difference on camera. And then I'm going to add just a teeny tiny bit of gray. And keep in mind, my gray in this set of crayons is super light. If you have a darker gray, you're going to want to go really light on this. But this is kind of to suggest light and things reflecting off of the glass. And I could also even just add a few here and there, because this would be glass too that you're looking through. But again, it's almost invisible. It's very subtle, just to suggest some reflections on the glass. Stop saying it, learn how to talk. And there is my fish, super adorable and finished. And like I said earlier in the video, feel free to use any colors you want. I would love to see your pictures. Take a picture with a phone, a tablet, an iPad, even your computer. And the little search bar on the bottom left of your computer, if you type camera into that box, you'll see if your computer or device has a camera, and you can take a picture and send it to Ms. Thompson. You can send it to my email that you see on the screen right now, or you can use the art show form that is located on my website with the lesson. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did, and I will see you guys again soon.